A young woman has been killed in a horror attack outside a care home in East London. Police have launched a manhunt, forensics are at the scene, and detectives are urgently appealing for witnesses. With no arrests yet made, the killer is still on the loose. Let's break this down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. We have released our new I'm Not Far Right t-shirts. There are two different variants which come in black and blue. You can find them at britishstand.com or check the link in the description. Let's get into today's video. In the early hours of Saturday morning, tragedy struck on the streets of East London. Police have launched a manhunt after a young woman was brutally attacked and killed outside a care home in Romford. According to the Metropolitan Police, the incident unfolded at around 5:30 AM on Chadwell Heath Lane, just outside the Chadwell Heath care home. Emergency services, including police officers and paramedics, rushed to the scene within minutes. Despite their best efforts, the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. At this stage, very few details about the attack have been released. What we do know is that no arrests have been made, and a crime scene remains cordoned off as forensic teams continue their investigation. White-suited forensics officers were seen combing the area for clues, carefully bagging evidence, and photographing the surroundings in hopes of piecing together what led to this horrific killing. The victim's identity has not yet been made public, but police have confirmed that her family has been informed. Specially trained family liaison officers are now supporting them as they try to come to terms with this devastating loss. For a family to receive such news is unimaginable, and the community has already begun expressing its shock and sadness. Detective Superintendent Brian Hobbs, who is leading the investigation, gave a statement earlier today. He described the incident as a truly tragic event and sent his condolences to the victims' loved ones. He also reassured residents in Romford that an increased police presence will be seen across the area in the coming days, both to support the investigation and to provide reassurance to locals who are understandably shaken by what has happened. Hobbs thanked residents for their patience and urged anyone who may have witnessed the incident or noticed suspicious behavior in the early hours of Saturday morning to come forward immediately. He made it clear that every detail, no matter how small it may seem, could prove vital in catching the person responsible. Police are appealing directly to the public for help. Anyone who was in or around Chadwell Heath Lane at the time is urged to call 101 and quote reference number 1625/16 August. For those who wish to remain anonymous, Crime Stoppers is available on 0800555111. Detectives emphasize that community cooperation is essential if they are to bring the killer to justice swiftly. This attack has sent shockwaves across the area. Chadwell Heath is normally a quiet part of Romford, home to families' care facilities and small businesses. For residents to wake up to such a violent crime on their doorstep is nothing short of horrifying. Many have described the area as peaceful and safe, making this sudden act of violence all the more unsettling. As investigations continue, questions remain unanswered. Who was responsible for this vicious attack? Was the victim targeted, or was this a random act of violence? And, most importantly, how quickly can police track down the suspect before they potentially strike again? For now, the priority remains finding the person responsible and securing justice for the young woman who lost her life. Detectives are working tirelessly, and the public's help could be the difference in solving this case. This story is still developing. As soon as more details emerge, whether from the post-mortem examination, eyewitness accounts, or further police updates, we'll bring them to you. But tonight, the community of Romford is united in grief, shock, and a demand for justice. In other news, Masters of the Dark Arts are doing all they can to hold Nigel Farage and reform UK's surge to power, according to the party's Department of Government Efficiency boss, Zia Yusuf. Mr. Yusuf was speaking to the media about his party leader's plea for more reform representation in the House of Lords. While stressing the party's hardline stance against the unelected chamber, the former Reform chairman told Martin Daubney it should still have a delegation. "It's deeply sinister," he said. "We know the Tories are the masters of the dark arts and they have been trying this against us, but it's not going to work. We are simply not going to be terrorized out of this mission." Speaking about the Lords, he said, We've got to play the game as it is right now. We have a party that is already at a democratic deficit in the House of Commons. We're polling routinely now at north of 33%, a third of the country support us, and yet we have 4 MPs. That's already a massive democratic deficit. How many Lords do we have? None. All we ask is for a few so the voices of the British people are heard. It's clear the Lords routinely block the will of the people. It's become a patronage and loyalty scheme for donors to the Tories and Labour. Christopher Hope pushed back, saying the Lords literally isn't a rubber stamping chamber for the two main parties, as it constitutionally cannot be. They can't block the will of the people. The manifesto position is it gets through the Lords whether it looks like it or not. They impede, said Mr. Yusuf, and time is precious. If we're talking about what we need to do in our first 100 days, some guy who's posting on social media with AK-47s and announcing support for the Houthi rebels coming soon to a migrant hotel near you, to get these people deported, we need rapid legislation. In a letter to Sir Keir Starmer, Mr. Farage wrote, "My party received over 4.1 million votes at the general election in July 2024 and have since won a large number of seats in local government, led in the national opinion polls for many months, and won the only by-election of this parliament." Defence Secretary John Healey has strongly rejected Mr. Farage's demands, questioning the Reform UK leader's consistency on the issue. Healey characterised the request as an attempt by Mr. Farage to install his Mr. cronies in the upper chamber, despite his past opposition to the institution's existence. Reform UK currently holds 4 MPs and controls 10 councils, yet lacks any representation in the upper chamber. The Prime Minister holds exclusive authority over political appointments to the House of Lords, with nominations requiring approval before formal confirmation by the King. Whilst no constitutional requirement exists for prime ministers to elevate opposition figures, political convention typically sees opposition leaders invited to suggest candidates for peerages. Downing Street has not yet responded to Mr. Farage's request. Nigel Farage's demand for Reform UK seats in the Lords has triggered fierce debate. His allies argue it would give millions of voters a voice in an institution they see as stacked against them, while critics accuse him of hypocrisy and cronyism. For now, the decision lies squarely with Sir Keir Starmer and Downing Street, and with no indication of movement, Reform faces the prospect of remaining locked out of the upper chamber despite its growing national influence. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.